Okay, this story is entitled The Haunted Furniture. Now, you don't have to believe anything we say. You don't have to believe the stories that you hear here, and that's fine. I'm simply giving you the information. However, you process it is up to you. But I just want you to know that this is not secondhand information. This is not a hearsay story that someone told me. These are events that I actually experienced firsthand. So take it as you will. Um, it was about 150 years ago or so. Exaggeration. Me and my wife had just moved from an apartment to a house. And I was at work, exhausted, had a very long day. It was a hot day outside. We had a lot of physical work. I hadn't had a lot of sleep the night before. And when I got home, all I wanted to do was just walk in the door, get a cold drink, and get some rest. Just sit down on the couch and just lean back and just fade out. So when I got to the front door, I opened the door, and she was there greeting me at the front door. And as I came in, I told her I just exhausted. I just wanted to sit down, just get a cold drink. And she said, "Okay, but first I have a surprise for you." I was like, "Okay, whatever. I just want to get some rest. I just want to relax." And she said, "Okay, well, this will help." So when I walked in, we walked down the hallway, and as you walk in the front door, walk down the hallway, and to the right is the bedrooms. Our master bedroom was all the way at the end of the hallway, and continue straight ahead down the hallway from the front door. You walk into the living room. Now the living room was massive. It was very big. It had vaulted ceilings with a hanging ceiling fan, and it had a skylight at the peak in the back of the house, sliding glass door that went out to the patio. And she had purchased some very large sectionals, which it was fine. I mean, it was in pieces, and one piece was on one side of the living room, and one piece was on the other side of the living room, and it filled the whole living room. It was massive. So, which is cool. So I walked in and I sat down. I think it was gray tweed or something. And I sat down on the couch and leaned back on the cushion. And these cushions were massive and fluffy and just very supportive. And I leaned back. I remember it was like a giant hug. It wrapped around me. The cushion wrapped around me. It supported my neck. I leaned back, and it was paradise. To put into perspective, I was sitting on the couch and looking into the kitchen. And I don't know, she was probably 15, 20 feet away. I could see through the doorway of the kitchen, and halfway down the kitchen, she was standing in front of the sink. Well, I leaned back on the cushion. She brought me a cold drink. There was a little drink stand next to the arm of the couch, and so I had a drink and leaned back. And I watched her, and she turned around and walked back into the kitchen. Well, the last thing I saw before I closed my eyes was her standing at the kitchen sink. And it was just fading out. My eyes just slowly closed, and I wanted to take in the whole concept of resting and just how great it felt. So I closed my eyes and I leaned back on the couch, and it wasn't 10 seconds after that. I don't know, she'd gotten in a playful mood or something and came in, and she started pounding me on my chest. And I could feel the bottom of her fists pounding against my chest. And I thought, well, you know what? I just out loud, I was like, I told you, I'm just exhausted. I just want to get some rest. What are you doing? And it wasn't 2 seconds. And she responded to me and said, what are you talking about? And the voice came from the kitchen. And I thought, wait a minute. And I had started to process it and opened my eyes, and I looked, and she was still standing at the kitchen. And I could, even with my eyes open, I could still feel the hands pounding on my chest. I got off from underneath the couch like an invisible limbo, okay? I got into the kitchen and said, listen, where in the world did you get this stuff from? Did you buy this off of a dead gangster? Or did they hide a body in this couch or something? She said, what are you talking about? So I tried to explain to her what was going on. And she said, I don't know. I've never experienced anything like that. And I said, yeah, well, neither have I. And I was like, you know what? I'm so tired. I'm just going to bed. Whatever, if it's something in here, it's just going to have to come and get me. So I went in, went to sleep, slept all night. She came in, convinced me that I'd dreamed it all. I'd imagined it because I was so tired. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Oh, we had a housewarming party that weekend. So we had like 20 people in the house. And I'm sitting on the couch. Probably, I guess that's turned out to be one of my favorite places to sit. I don't know. It was very relaxing. And people were all milling around, and she was in the kitchen. Missy was in the kitchen playing hostess. She was getting drinks for everyone and making snacks, and that was her thing. So I'm sitting there, and my brother's girlfriend is on the couch with me, but she's on the other end of the couch, sitting on the arm of the couch. And music's going on, and people are having drinks and snacks and whatever and milling around the house. And I'm sitting there talking to her. I'm looking at her. And she just kind of, all of a sudden, she gets this weird grin on her face and just leaps from the edge of the couch, on the arm of the couch, into the air and lands on me and bites me on my hip. And I was like, what in the world is wrong with you? I mean, I know you're drunk, but good grief. And my brother saw what was going on. He flew in and snatched her off of me and took her outside. And I don't know what all they were talking about. But anyway, I went into the kitchen and showed my wife. I was like, look, she bit me. I was like, what? I was like, she bit me. You see this? And I pull up my shirt and I showed her the teeth marks. And she's like, what is going on with her? I said, I don't know. She's drunk. And she's like, yeah, I know, but that's weird. So everybody filtered out. The party died down. Everybody left. And we went to bed. Well, she had a friend coming in that she went to college with. It was a college roommate. She'd known her since high school. They toured Europe together, and now she'd moved in. She was, I think she was living in Austin, and she'd gotten a job with IBM or somebody like that. And so she was coming into town. She was going to visit, and we didn't have any beds in the spare rooms because we just moved in, and So it just so happened that the sectional we had was had a fold out bed in it. Okay. Well, we she came in. We got her unpacked and got her in the house, and we sat and talked for hours and hours, and had drinks and laughed and talked and visited. And when we got exhausted, we went to bed. As we went to bed, we got her bed ready and got some sheets and pillows and stuff, and got her settled in, and told her we were just at the end of the hallway. If she needed anything, just let us know. No problem. So we went to bed, and our bedroom was all the way at the end of the hallway and to the right. And when you open the door, it's a pretty good sized master bedroom, and the bed was all the way back in the corner. But that was by design, so we could have some peace and quiet. And into the hallway, into the door, and then behind the door, it was, like I said, it was across the bedroom before we even get to the bed. So we were in the bed sleeping. It's in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, we hear this blood-curdling scream. I mean, just piercing, like in the movies. And we're like, I'm kind of stirred, and she's hopped around and screaming at me, go find out what's going on. Go get her. Go see what's happening. I was like, and when you're in a semi-motionless waterbed, you just kind of have to rock back and forth and try to ride a wave to whichever direction you're trying to get to. Not to mention, I was all disoriented because it was in the middle of the night and I'd been sleeping. So I get my feet finally on the floor, and it's pitch black, so I'm trying to navigate the dark and get around the edge of the bed. And finally I get to the bedroom door, and Missy's right behind me. So I open the door and we go down the hallway, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs, and I'm like, what? She's standing in the corner up against the wall, pointing at the bed. And we're like, what's going on? And she said, I was in the bed, sound asleep, and the bed started to rumble. And it woke me up. And I couldn't get out of the bed. It wouldn't let me out. And as I tried to get out of the bed, the foot of the bed raised and dropped about 7 or 8 times. It raised up about a foot or 2 feet in the air and came back down and dropped on the floor. Over and over and over. And I finally got out of the bed and got away from it and got up against the wall, and I was screaming the whole time. I said, yeah, we heard you. So I looked at Missy and I said, I told you I did not imagine this. This furniture is leaving this house. So we went to bed. I let the girls sleep in the bed, and I slept in the floor. And the next day, we got rid of that evil furniture.